Firearms friends, we are back with 5 more guns from our upcoming February 16th through 18th Sporting Collector Firearms Auction. You can find the full listings right now at rockislandauction.com. But what's better than going to the website and checking them all out yourself is coming to our new facility in Bedford, Texas, and seeing them in person. We can't encourage you enough, and I'm going to keep beating the drum and letting you know that our Sporting Collector auctions this year, you're going to see an increase in quality. If you haven't been before, prepare to be amazed. If you've been to our Sporting Collector auctions before, you have an idea of what those entail. We're changing the game this year. You can expect to see even more outstanding firearms in these auctions. 5 on the table are no exception. Come to our facility. We miss the old gun shows just like you do. In these auctions in the new facility, we're trying to bring them back. We want the camaraderie. We want the better guns under one roof. We want the networking, the friendships, and just to, like I said, celebrate being gun collectors together. So please join us February 16th or 18th, or the full day preview on the 15th. Now let's get into some of these guns, and we'll start chronologically back to 1874. When I pick up this gun, you already know what it is. You know it's a Colt Single Action Army, and you know that those started production in 1873. So you already know that this is an early model. You therefore know it's an antique. You therefore know it's a black powder frame. And what you also might be putting together is that this is very early enough. For the first year of production, you know it's an Ainsworth sub-inspected Colt Single Action Army. Now, we've made whole videos on Ainsworth Colts before. Extremely desirable by collectors, and for all the other reasons as well. The black powder frame, the antique status. Ainsworth only working those earliest months of Single Action Army production. Only putting his mark on guns up through, say, 12,000 in that range. And so here we have an Ainsworth Colt with these nice U.S. markings on the left side. Still has its 7.5-inch barrel. Like I said, there's a reason we've made videos about Ainsworths before, and that is because of their supreme collectability, their place as Americans and their troops expanded west. Big place, the Indian Wars, of course. So Ainsworths are... I mean, when you see an Ainsworth in a sporting collector auction, it's a very, very good sign of that increase in quality that we were talking about. Now next, a horse of a different color, you could say. We go from a collector's piece to one that's collectible basically for its condition. I put this on the table because, no thanks to the George Lewis collection, I have a newfound appreciation for these little Colt new lines. And just the history and the artistry and the condition, and they put it all in a small package, and they're really just fantastic guns. Of course, a lot of them have a proud place on that Colt wheel that you see at the exhibitions, and we like to cover that as well. So here we have a Colt new line, classic. Case hardened bits, blued, rosewood grips, actually just a spectacular condition. 41 rimfire, so still packs a punch in that little package, and on our other side, an etched panel. So, boy, if you think it's hard for finish to hold up, those etched panels, if you see them in any sort of degraded condition, the panel will usually be the first thing to go. So for that etched panel to be there, it indicates really how fine a condition it is. We also have British proofs on this one. So a beautiful little gun with a story to tell. It still packs a punch. Definitely a Colt cartridge gun that speaks to me and should speak to you too. And moving from the Colt new line to another gun we've had standalone videos on. These reach into the upper echelons of fine arms collecting, and we're not moving that far chronologically either. 74 to 76 to an 1880 production Colt 1877 Lightning double action revolver. Beautiful wood with this case. A vibrant blue liner inside that really sets off some of this gorgeous case hardening that's still on the frame. We have it on our top strap. We have these beautiful niter blue bits that really just sing to you on a Lightning, whether it's the trigger, whether it's the back of the hammer. Those niter blue are always just, I think that's one of the most fun and appealing parts of a Lightning is he catches the right light and it just speaks to you. This one also sold from Colt's London agency, so it has some British proof marks on there as well. So cased, original condition, fairly early production Colt Lightning. And here's an example where you don't have to drop a whole lot of money to find a Colt that you can just bring home and be really proud of in your collection. And now we come to, finally maybe for some of you, our first semi-automatic Colt of 2 videos now, and it's a Colt Ace. These are made from 1931 through World War II, and there were a couple assembled from parts after World War II, so technically into 1947 is their production run. And collectors love them just for all the same reasons they love a shotgun and a subgauge, like a 410. Here you have a Colt 1911 chambered in 22 long. So if you weren't familiar with the Colt Ace, it becomes pretty apparent really easily with the small diameter, small caliber barrel. Just a great way for troops to train with all the same controls that you'd have on a 1911, but obviously with a significantly less cost for ammunition and a lot less recoil for troops as well to be training with. So a lot of good reasons to like a Colt Ace for servicemen, a lot of good reasons to love one as a collector. Now this Colt Ace, besides also having original finish and being in just pretty outstanding condition, this looks really good. Like some of our other Colts we've talked about, is a first year production. So 1931 production Colt Ace, a gun that collectors already love that looks like this. That's gonna find some attention, I have a good feeling, this February. Now I know we just got into semi-automatics, but I'd like to go back to Colt revolvers for a minute with you, if I may, for our last gun on the table. Absolutely beautiful, and when you see a Colt that looks this good, you might be tempted to think, hey, that's a 2nd or 3rd generation, and in this case, you are correct. This is a Colt 3rd generation Sheriff's model. I brought it out because in the past, I mean, let's just say there's been a real mindset shift on Colt 2nd and 3rd generation revolvers. So where in the past they might have been viewed as almost a second run to a 1st generation, that's not the case anymore. People are snatching up 2nd and 3rd generation single action armies, and we know that because we're seeing the increase of the value to acquire these things. So here's your chance for a sort of get it on the ground floor type gun with these 2nd and 3rd gens, especially in nice condition like this, but also because it's a Sheriff's model. People love a Sheriff's model. What is that? Well, the shorter barrel, and we don't have an ejection rod here. Now there's different variants, of course. You have Bankers models and Sheriff's models and things like that, all basically the same premise with that shorter barrel, no ejection rod. A workman's type gun, an emergency and everyday carry piece, if you will, where you weren't planning on reloading, you were planning on shooting it 6 times and either getting the heck out of Dodge or going to meet your maker. This one, beautiful. In the classic sort of arrangement we love to see with the blued, with the case coloring, with the wood grips. Just a beautiful, beautiful piece. And again, Sheriff's model people love, 2nd, 3rd gen. You could do either or with this. Had a chance to look at it. Beautiful bore inside as well. So you could take this one out and shoot it, or you could hold on to it and see where the value goes for a really, really high condition Sheriff's model. And collector friends, these cartridge Colts on the table are the tip of the iceberg. Colts are regularly one of the most featured guns in any auction we have. We're gonna have more Colts than anything else. So if anything on this table piqued your fancy, can't encourage you enough to come to that February 16th through 18th Sporting Collector Firearms Auction, or better yet, the full day preview on February 15th. That's a whole day where you get to go and look at guns, and handle guns, and touch guns, and talk to other like-minded collectors, and of course, see that beautiful new Bedford facility. If you can't, we still appreciate you visiting RockIslandAuction.com. You can view all the item listings there. You can place your bids. Until our next video, keep your powder dry.